Welcome back to Responses to Critics on Quranist Network Television, QNet TV. We are now in part 2 of our response to MuslimVlogGuy, who has actually spent some time to consider the Quranist views and record a refutation for it. Thank you very much for that. So now we begin with minute 1.29, so we're still in the first minute. Minute 1.29, where MuslimVlogGuy says, we need the Prophet the most during these times. What does that mean exactly? We need the Prophet the most during these times. Islam is utterly useless without the Prophet. Is that really the case? Allah says about the Quran in chapter 59 verse 21, if we were to descend the Quran upon a mountain, you will see that it will crumble in focus of Allah. That is the power of the Quran. And yet the MuslimVlogGuy says that we need the Prophet the most during these times. He has unfortunately tagged Islam to the personality of the Prophet. Yet the Prophet has said in chapter 46 verse 9, Kul, so the Prophet was commanded to say this, Kul ma kuntu bid'an min ar-rusul, I am not anything new from among the messengers. Wama adri ma yuf'alu bi wala bikum, I do not know what will happen to me or to you. That is the Prophet. The Prophet is a human being. Whether the Prophet is around now or he's not around now, that doesn't matter. We still have the potential to save our lives, to give us salvation in this earth and in the hereafter. So MuslimVlogGuy, please do not associate the personality of the Prophet with the universality of Islam. It's not the same thing. So in minute 1.43, MuslimVlogGuy says they have no guidelines to follow. Once again, I mean, I am baffled by this. I am really baffled. It's like, does this guy actually read the Quran? Because guidelines. What's a guideline, right? The Quran says, Ihdina as-siratal mustaqim. It commands us to say this. So we say, guide us on the straight path. Ihdina as-siratal mustaqim. Guide us, guidelines. So, are there no guidelines in the Quran? Well, the Quran describes a summation of the guidelines from chapter 6, verse 151 to 152. And then it says in verse 153, وَأَنَّ هَذَا صِرَاطِي, and verily this is my path. Mustaqima, it's straight. فَأَتَّبِعُهُ, so follow it. So the Quran has already detailed Sirat al-Mustaqim. Yet MuslimVlogGuy says, I'm sorry, without Hadith we don't have any guidelines. Well, brother, please open the Quran. Read it for yourself. The Quran is not just a set of theories. It does actually have some practical application. So that's minute 1.43. So we now move on to minute 4.30. So there MuslimVlogGuy was talking about the Salat prayers. And he said that prayers were passed down with trustworthy people. And you know, we've already said in the previous part, prayers has so many differences, obvious differences. So these trustworthy people either got it wrong, or maybe they were not so trustworthy after all. So he continues to extol the value, the greatness of these people, and they are so trustworthy and upright. And if they ever come to any musannid or a narrator who was a liar, it will be thrown out. So this was actually a very fantastic slogan. I mean, it's great if you wish to sell the concept. Until you come to minute 5.39, where MuslimVlogGuy says, oh, wait a minute, there are some weak hadith in Bukhari and Muslim. And he says to the Quranists, he was very generous with this at that point, he said, I'll give you that small credit. Unfortunately, Mr. VlogGuy, it's not a small credit. It's something which will cause a major fault in your argument. Perhaps even a fatal fault. And I'll tell you why. Because if, let's not forget that the collection of Al-Bukhari is called Jamia Sahih. The collection of Sahih. So Bukhari he believes that this is sahih. He believes that the collection of hadith is authentic. However, you have admitted that he and his student Muslim ibn Hajjaj and their Sahihain, their two authentic collections, you have admitted that there are some weak hadiths there. This is a fatal flaw. Now imagine this, if in fact Bukhari made a mistake, and as you say, the ulama, you've not mentioned any names, and I think we both know why, because the minute you do, we will then find fault with those guys as well. So that is a very big problem. Bukhari was criticized by one ulama. Great, he's not extra human, he should be criticized. What about that ulama who criticized him? Is he not beyond criticism? Because if Bukhari made a mistake, then that guy can make a mistake. And what if another guy comes along and corrects him? Perhaps he can make a mistake as well. And on and on and on and on. So really, what is the divine value of these texts? They are not divinely protected by Allah, and you have admitted this yourself now. So from there we can see that there is not a small flaw, not even a big flaw, but a fatal flaw in the hadith argument. In fact, Bukhari himself, where MuslimVlogGuy says liars will be thrown out. MuslimVlogGuy, you should know that in Sahih Bukhari, Bukhari records a hadith by Abu Hurairah, where Abu Hurairah says he used to pretend not to know about the Quran so that he would be invited in for a free meal. That's not very honest. That's not very honest of him. So why did Bukhari accept the hadith of Abu Hurairah if Abu Hurairah himself admitted to this? What about the hadith where what about the story where Bukhari refused the hadith of a person because he conned his donkey? That guy conned his donkey, but Abu Hurairah actually deceived Sahaba in order to get a free meal. So there is actually something deeply wrong with these collections. So it's not small credit you're giving us, actually. You may think it's small credit, but unfortunately these are fatal flaws which you need to address. Next we move on to minute 9.45, where MuslimVlogGuy says 80,000 fiqh questions. Fiqh is like almost the jurisprudence of the traditionalists. 80,000 fiqh questions were memorized and they had them all answered. So basically he makes it sound as if everything we need to know these guys can tell us. I have only one question for MuslimVlogGuy. How many verses are abrogated in the Quran? Let me first explain to you what is abrogation. Abrogation, or in Arabic, an-nasakh wal-mansukh, the abrogator and the abrogated, is the science of the Quran by the traditionalists. The Quran itself rejects this, where the traditionalists claim that some verses of the Quran abrogate other verses. Why? Because the Quran was revealed piecemeal. It was given like in stage by stage, so later verses abrogate earlier verses. So let's assume that that is an okay concept. It's not. It's not really an okay concept, but let's assume for a minute that it is. This begs the question, which verses abrogate which? And here's the answer. Nobody knows. This is 80,000 fiqh questions answered. But if you ask a simple question like how many verses were abrogated, nobody knows. This is not a small matter. The Quran is, for traditionalist Muslims, the Quran is the primary source of deen. It's your primary source, so you should know which verses still apply and which verses don't. But no, there's no straight answer for this. In fact, some scholars actually says that the ayatul sayf, the verse of the sword, chapter 9 verse 5, it abrogates 100 verses. Does MuslimVlogGuy believe this? Yes or no? And if so, why? If not, why? Because we need to know this. You say 80,000 fiqh questions answered. This is the first basic question and it's not answered. So MuslimVlogGuy, please don't feed us these slogans. These slogans are not Islam. We need to do hard and thorough research to see whether the structure of traditional Islam can stand criticism or not. And unfortunately it cannot. This does not mean that it lacks value completely. What it means is it lacks divine authority. It's a human product and so should be treated as such. It should, it's not obligatory on us at all, but if you choose to use it, you can do so however you wish. Nobody can impute you for using it the way you wish to do it and not in their way. So the last point in Muslim Vlog Guy's video, before we move on to part 2 of his video, so we will have actually 4 parts. This is only his first video. He says in minute 10.45, the Quranists love to play with the words of the Quran, and especially the word hijab. We have said that hijab does not mean head cover. So this is so strange for this to happen, because if you look at chapter 24 verse 31, where the so-called command for hijab is given, there is no word hijab there. That's right, there is no word hijab in that verse. And Muslim Vlog Guy accuses the Quranists of playing with the words of the Quran. Dear sir, I think you need to read the verse for yourself. The word hijab is not even there. And he says, oh well, they choose to play with the meaning of the word. Look in the Quran yourself and see what does the phrase min wara'i hijaban is. And unless you believe that Allah wears a hijab, astaghfirullah, then unfortunately your definition of the hijab does not meet the Quran's own definition. So Mr. Vlog Guy, I'm really sorry, but unfortunately you have not done enough research for you to attack the Quranists in this way. My invitation still stands. If you wish to have a video-to-video debate with us, send us a list of questions. I'll be quite happy to do the same to you, and we can address them in due course. So thank you very much. For the rest of the viewers, thank you very much for tuning in to Responses to Critics, and we hope to have you back for when we engage with Muslim Vlog Guy second video. Thank you very much for your viewership. Bye.